Hello, we're Team 4 with 5 members, Thu Hà, Mai Phương, Yến Nhi, Minh Chan, and Quang Nhật. So today we're going to take you to a top-class tourist attracting city in Europe. And yes, it is Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland. The city not only has a lot of unique cultural features, but it is also a place of many world-famous events.
A general geographical profile of Edinburgh. Edinburgh, the capital city of Scotland, situated in southeastern Scotland. The city occupies nearly 7 miles of north-facing slope between the Penland Hills and the Broad Ford estuary, where it merges with the old port of Leith. It has flatter, fertile agriculture land sloping down to a port several miles away. About weather and climate. Like most cities in Scotland, Edinburgh has got temperate maritime climates, cold and humid winters and mild summer. The prevailing easterly winds are often cold but relatively dry. Warmer southwesterly wind coming off the North Atlantic currently often bring rain. Except for season, spring from March to May. Between this month, you will find the temperature at approximately 14 degrees Celsius. It's a perfect time to visit, enjoy the outdoor like a good hike. Summer is from June to August. The hottest month is July, reaching 20 degrees Celsius. With its pleasant, warm weather is an ideal time for sightseeing, entertainment, and discovering Edinburgh. Autumn is from September to November. Temperature average at 13 degrees Celsius or 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And the last one is winter. Winter is from November to January. The coldest month of the year is January, with a minimum temperature around 1.5 degrees Celsius. Between this month, you will find Edinburgh transformed into a winter paradise, complete with a Christmas markets, ice skating, festival experience, and much more. About the population, the current metro area population of Edinburgh in 2023 is 554,000, a 1.9% increase from 2022. In most cities of the population is native to Scotland, about 1 in 7 residents were born in England. By far, the city is the largest immigrant group. The city is an exciting mix of traditional and modern, and also is the second most populous city in Scotland and the 7th in the United Kingdom.
And next, let's find out more about the city's culture. One of the most prominent features of the city's culture is the festivals. There are a lot of festivals of various kinds being organized in the city at every time of the year, including the Edinburgh Jazz and Blues Festival, where people can enjoy jazz and blues music performed freely by the artists around the world, or the well-known Edinburgh Arts Festival, where hundreds of masterpieces are exhibited to everyone. Besides festivals, the city also features a long list of cultural facilities such as the National Gallery of Scotland, the National Museums of Scotland, or the Usual Hall. These are the places where the city's cultural activities are stored and introduced to the tourists from all over the world. About economic activities, Edinburgh is the second largest financial center of the UK, just behind London, and the 4th in Europe by equity assets. Edinburgh is Scotland's most popular tourist destination in terms of visitor numbers, with numbers growing substantially each year. It is also the second most attractive place of tourism in the UK after London too. Education, government and law also spawned a massive printing and publishing industry. Until the early and mid-20th century, Edinburgh was the major center of the publishing industry in the UK. And just like the other cities of culture, Edinburgh also has lots of symbols and icons, the most famous of which is the city coat of arms. The coat of arms for the city of Edinburgh is leaned upon a three-tower castle with black stonework and white joints, which has long been a famous symbol of the city. The coronet above the castle and the shield represents the statutory council of the city. In the flanks of the shield are the two supporters, which are a young woman on the left and a doe on the right. The maiden icon may derive from the fact that the Edinburgh Castle used to be recognized as the castle of the maidens in the 13th century, while the dome is associated with St. Giles, the city's patron saint.
Edinburgh Castle is a historic castle in Edinburgh, Scotland. It stands on the Castle Rock. Castle Rock. It has been occupied by humans since at least the Iron Age, although the nature of the early settlement is unclear. Castle Rock was formed by a volcanic explosion nearly 340 million years ago. Edinburgh Castle is located in the Castle Rock, which has a summit 130 meters. It's about 430 feet above sea level. Around the castle, there are rocky cliffs to the south, west, and north, rising to the height of 80 meters, about 260 feet above the surrounding landscape. The surrounding sedimentary rocks have since been scraped off on all but the eastern side where they form the gently sloping royal mile. From this castle was built until now, it has witnessed so many important historical events of Scotland. Now let's have a look at some main events together. Firstly, in 1296, at the Longshanksea, the King Edward I plundered the castle and shipped all its treasures to London. Secondly, from the 1571 to 1573, the garrison occupying the castle declared their support for Mary, Queen of the Scots, and then people resisted the government forces. Lastly, in the 1745, Bonnie Prince Charles,
one of the oldest medieval roofs in Scotland, as well as the British House, a display of British and Scottish armoury, a wonder of medieval Scotland, the Great Hall. The Great Hall is located in very heart of the castle in Crown Square. Its wooden roof is one of the most superb in Britain. It is an hammer beam roof that is held together by the timbers themselves using backs. Over 500 years later, the roof is in the perfect condition without the need for nails or screws. Jane beams rest on stone carved with heads and symbols such as fleur-de-lis, which is found in Scottish and Tudor heraldries, a lion head, which represents Christ as well as the Scottish royalties, a wedding cup with a Tudor rose between England and Scotland, which led to unification of the two within a few generations. The use of the Great Hall has been changed from time to time. Grand banquets and state events took place in the Great Hall, but James IV had little time to enjoy his new addition to the castle because of his death in 1513. Oliver Cromwell's army captured the castle in the 1650s and began a military makeover of the space, turning the Great Hall into the barracks. It later served as a military hospital until the troops finally marched out in the 1886. What we see today is a Victorian-era renovated hall with weapons and armor, which are from Britain or captured during battles. Some of the weapons on display are claymores. The swords weigh 5 to 7 pounds, which may be why soldiers were required to use both hands. Swords have a basket used and are typically used with leather shoes or targets. Harpers, which are the combination of axe, spike, and hook, or in this case, a thorn. Partisans, which are long spiked with side spiked at the bottom to ward off swords. Today, the Great Hall continues to inspire with its armory and historical significance found throughout the buildings. That is one of the unique features of Edinburgh castles.
We have reached the
end of this videos, I will have everyone summarize what the members of the forum have shared. First of all, thank you, Nyat, for sharing very interesting information about the cultural and economic activities of Edinburgh city. Next, Phương and Nhật have convened very well to let us know the general geographical features of these beloved cities. Coming to the anti-facts about Edinburgh castles, Ha has developed in a very logical way, with location, geographical features, as well as special historical events associated with the castles. Coming to Edinburgh castles, surely we can't miss the Great Hall. That's me, Chang. I took you on a trip of the castles intended use from the time it was built to present. And of course, cannot ignore some typical weapons of the Scottish army. Here are the references that support my team in researching and creating these videos. And that is the end of our group videos. Thank you very much for your watching.